Alright guys, welcome back to this platform, Prince TV. If today is your first time of coming across to this platform, all you have to do is to subscribe and make sure you put on your notification bell so that anytime I upload my video, you will be the first person to be notified and then you know what this video is all about. Alright, now in this video, all what we are going to be talking about is the assistant minority document, which you guys have to know things and then how to apply for this kind of permits. The court of Juvenile, that is the court of minority, have stated some things which happens to be that those ones who will be having the minor children under 18, those ones can apply for this kind of permits. In this particular video, you are going to get everything complete, how to apply, what this permit is all about, and then under Italy, that is all over Italy, the court where you can apply for it, and then the phone number which you can contact. That is everything about the assistentia minority. You are going to have it in this particular video, so you are going to watch to the end, most especially those of you who are having families in Italy, those ones who are having babies. This particular update or this particular video is for you guys. If it is not beneficiary to you, all you have to do is to help me to share to others. Now we are going to kick in with articles so that you guys can understand and know what this kind of permit is all about. Alright, now listen. He said here, who is eligible for this permesso? This is a question mark. He said, the permesso per assistentia minority is granted to the parent or a family member of a child or adolescent under 18 living in Italy on a case-by-case basis. He said to avoid that the separation from the adult damages the child's well-being. Now, the meaning of this kind of permit, and then people who are eligible to get this kind of permit, stated a reason that children who are under 18 and then the parents or families. Now, if they allow these children to be separated from the parents or from the family, there might be a damage. So for this reason, the children and that of the parents will now have the opportunity of the possibility to get this kind of permit known as assistentia minority. So this is what you guys have to understand at this junction. Now let's go forward. He said the permit can be granted to one or both parents or to another family member regardless of the degree of a kinship. You might understand. Now listen here. He said, however, according to child lawyers, in some cases, the relevant Italian authorities may grant the assistentia minority permit to another relative, even if the child is with one of the parents. You might understand. Now listen, let's go a little bit forward. He said here, you may receive this permit also if you are outside Italy and you apply for family reunification with your son or daughter who is under 18 live in Italy. You understand? Now, this kind of assistentia minority is also applicable for even children who are not living in Italy under 18 through family reunification. You know what that means. For those of you who don't know the meaning of family reunification, for example, you are granted a political asylum of 5 years or that of the subsidiary protection. This kind of permit, you can use it to bring your immediate ones through family reunification. And then the same family reunification, this kind of permit of assistentia minority can also be granted to the children under age in order to arrive here in Italy. Now, this is what you have to understand in this part. Now, let's go a little bit forward with the article little by little. He said here, first step, authorization from the Juvenile court. Now, this kind of permit, most of you have been hearing that, you can apply for it direct from the Questura. No, this is not the kind of permit that was being published by the court of Trabunale of Bologna, which state that people who are integrated can apply for that of 2 years document. Guys, listen, let me clear you guys here. There are 3 possibilities now which people can get the document. Now, the first one they stated is that those ones who have been integrated, those ones who have contributed, those ones who are kind of like trying to integrate to the system, they have the right to get the protection specially of 2 years, which I make the video already separate. Now, this assistencia minori, it is not the one you have to go and apply from the Questura. No. This kind of permit, all you have to do is to apply direct from the court of minori, which I have to mention to you guys. Depending on city you are, I will give you the phone numbers of those courts so that you guys can kind of like a book for appointment in order to get the form and then fill it before submitting to Questura, because Questura will be the one to issue out the document, but the authorization will come from the court of minori. Now listen to this article. He said, first step, authorization from the Juvenile court. He said, to apply this permit, you first need to request the authorization for the release of the permit from the Juvenile court. The Juvenile court is usually located in the capital of the region of province. Now, he said here, you can find the list of Juvenile courts in Italy here. This place where you can find the Juvenile court, that is court of minorities, assistance minori courts, I will list it at the last part of the video. Now let's go and see the meaning of the assistencia minori, what they are talking about this kind of permits, before we go and see how you guys can apply for it and then where to go and then apply for it. Alright, now listen here. He said, in addition, you will have to attach to the request a copy of other documents such as valid documents to prove your identity and that of your child, e.g. passport, ID. So you must have a valid identity which prove that you guys are living here in Italy first. Then the second one again they brought is that valid or expired permit of stay if you have one already. Like for example, you have requesta de asilo, you can present it as well. This is what they stated in this part. Then another one again, they said birth certificate of the child. The birth certificate of the child must be stated as well. Then we have proof of the family ties with the child, such as historical family certificate or registration certificates if you are not the parent. So if you adopt this child, you must prove the certificate that you are not the real mother or a real parent of that particular child. This is what they explain in this part. Then another one again, the last, he said, has contracts, declaration of hospitality or residence certificate. So you must also declare where you people are staying. It has contract, or if you are being hospitalized by somebody, that is if somebody made hospital for you. So where you are living, they are eager to know your residence and then the place where you are living. This is what they added in addition. Now let's see a little bit forward. He said, the Trabunale may request other documents depending on your case, such as school or health certificate from the child. So if there is a health certificate, you have went to hospital with your baby, all those kind of stuff, you can still add those ones up as a document to prove to them. Now another one again, you guys have to understand here. Listen to this part here very carefully. He said, what will the court evaluate? Now let's see. What will be the evaluation of the court in order to grant out this kind of permit known as assistencia minori? Now see the evaluation, what the court have to put into consideration in order to issue out this kind of permit. This is what we are going to state in this part. Alright, now listen to the article, what the court have to put into consideration, what will be the evaluation, like what will make them to give out this kind of permit known as assistencia minori. Now listen to the article, what they stated in this part. He said, what will the court evaluate? This is a question mark. He said, in order to decide if you should receive the assistencia minori permit, the Juvenile court evaluates whether there could be a damage for your child's well-being if he or she would be separated from you, or if your child would go back to his or her country of origin. You understand? Now, if there will be any effect going back to his or her country of origin, these are the things they are going to put into consideration. And I swear, they stated that if it happens to be that they separate you and your child, what will be the damage? Automatically, you should know that separating a child under 18 years, it's going to be a re-damage to that child. So automatically, that is to let you know that they don't have any right than to grant her this kind of permit. So that is what you guys have to understand in this part here. He said here, in practice, the judge will consider if you have taken care of your child appropriately. He said, e.g., if you have enrolled him or her to school, if he or she has a pediatrician, if he or she participates in activity that allow your child to integrate in Italy. Now let me explain that pediatrician, meaning that if the child is having any diseases or developing any kind of sickness, that is meaning of that pediatrician. I know most of you will be saying the language is very hard, so I try to break it down. Now let's go a little bit forward. He said, the court may also take into account the health condition of the child and his or her young age if applicable. So now, also have it in mind that before the judge will grant out this assistant minori, is going to check how you are taking care of the child, if you enroll this child to a school, if you are giving this child the opportunity to be integrated to the Italian system. All these things are also going to be put into consideration as well. Check if the child is having any health issue. This is what is stated in this part. Now let's go a little bit forward. He said, in order to examine these elements, the court may interview you and your child, verify the place where you live, domicilio in Italy. You understand? Domicilio Italian. They must know where you guys are living, like I stated previously. He said, request information on your criminal records to the Questura, request a report from a social works or do further investigation. So also, as the parents of the child, they are still going to review and see your criminal record. If you have committed any crime, it might still be a hindrance for you people not to receive this kind of permits. This is what they stated in this particular part as well. Now, let's go to the second step of it. He said here, second step, appointment at the Questura. He said here, once you have the authorization of the Trabunale, you will need to request the permit directly to the Questura without going to the post office. Now, understand that after the application of this document from the Tribunale, then when the Tribunale kind of like answer you, it's just like when you are waiting for your document in the Tribunal of Court, that is Tribunale Court, then they issue it out for you. Then you have to go direct to Questura. You don't need to go to post office. This is what they stated this part. Once the court agree and then grant out this permit, you will take the paper which they give to you direct to Questura to finish the process in order to have the plastic documents. Now let's go a little bit forward. He said, keep in mind that some Questura may use the online booking pattern. You understand? They might make it to be online. Some Questuras, it depends on the date of the appointment. You will need to bring. Now see things which you have to bring on the day of the appointment when you have to go to the Questura. He said, on the date of the appointment, you will need to bring 4 photos of yourself. That is 4 photocopy of yourself. Then another one again, he said, 16 euro revenue stamp, marca da bollo in Italy. You understand? That is 16 euro of marca da bollo, the Ministro dell'Interno. You guys know what that means. Then another one again, he said, receipt of the fee for the issue of the permit. That is what the tribunal gave to you as the receipt which they used to authorize that the Questura should grant out this permit to you guys. This is what this place means. Now, another one again is valid document to prove your identity and that of your child, e.g. passport, ID. You might understand? To another one again, they said, decision of the Tribunale per e-Menorini and a copy of it, like I stated as well. He said, declaration of hospitality, has contract or resident certificate. Now, where you are living, if you are under affitto, you have to present the house contract. If you guys are being hospitalitated by somebody, you have to bring where you guys are staying. This is what is being needed from the Questura to process this kind of permit. Now let's see. He said, how long is this permit valid for? Now let's see how long this permit is valid for. He said the Trabunale per I minorini decide on the duration of the permit, but it usually lasts no more than 2 years. So now, in this issue or in this particular case, it is the Tribunal of Minori who will now decide how long they are going to give you this permit. That is the duration of the permit. Normally, is always 2 years document. They might decide to give out a year. They might decide to give out 2 years. It depends on the judge. The judge will be the one to decide how long that document is going to last. That is what they stated in this part. Now let's see. He said, how can I renew it? Now listen and see how you can renew this kind of permit. He said, you can renew this permit at the Questura with the authorization that the Trabunale per I minorini gave you the first time if the authorization is not expired. So to renew this kind of permit, you still need to present the authorization that was being given by the Tribunal of Minorini. This is what they stated as well. He said, if the authorization of the Trabunale is expired, you need to request a new one from the Juvenile court. You see, for those ones who are to apply this document, you have to be very attentive and know what you are going for. If you have to renew this kind of permit, you will still need the authorization of the Trabunale to get this permit back again. This is what they stated in this part. He said, can I convert it to another permit? He said, you can convert this permit to a work permit or family permit if you meet the requirements. You understand? Now, in order for you not to go back to tribunal to kind of review when you have to kind of like renew this permit, it is good when you have the assistencia minori after the application and everything. You have to now convert this permit into a motive of work so that you will not have any problem with them renewing this kind of permit for you. This is what they stated as well. Now let's see the rights which you have with this kind of permit. Then I give you guys where you have to apply this permit. He said, what are my rights? These are question mark. He said, as a holder of the assistencia minori permit, you have the right to work in Italy, register to the registering office of your comune and get a carta d'identità. That is the second part. Another one again, access the Italian health care system, SSN. Then we have another one again, access the Italian public education system. You can go to school with this kind of permit. Another one, we have access the Italian welfare system. Apply for the EU lunga term permit, permesso di soggiorno EU per soggiornanti di lungo periodo, after 5 years of uninterrupted residence in Italy, if you meet the requirements. You understand? That is what you can still do with this kind of permit. Another one again, the last one, he said, travel outside Italy with your passport. You might understand. So guys, this is where we have to now break it down. Now, what you guys have to understand is that you can travel with this permit to your country of origin. That's what you guys have now to understand. Now, in order for this video not to get longer than this, let's just give you guys where you guys can now apply this kind of permit. Right. Now, last but not the least, you guys have to now see where this court of Juvenile, that is the assistencia minori court, is being located all over Italy. I'm going to mention some cities where you can find this court in order to send your application, or you pick up their phone number and then call and then request when you can have appointment with them. Now, I'm starting for those of you who live in Ancona. If you live in Ancona, we have Ancona Juvenile court. He said address and contact details of the Juvenile courts. These are the address and contact details in different cities. Those ones who live in Ancona, we have one of the court located in Via Carvaccio number 1. You understand? These are Italian names. What you have to do here is to pick up the number. I'm not going to read everything in this particular place so that we can just end up this video very fast. You have to pick the number here. Those ones who live in Ancona, the number is 071 20898600, and then you see other numbers. You can pick any of them and call and then have an appointment with them. So for those of you who are living in the area of Bari, we have Tribunale for Migrants of Bari. So you can find the number there as well, 080 5744 133 357. That is the number. We have another number again. That one is for fax. And then also we have an email address beside it there. You can message them through email to get appointments for those ones who live in the area of Bali. And also those of you who live in the area of Bologna, we have another one again here in Via del Partello. You understand? Number 36, Bologna. The phone number is 05129648880. Those ones who live under the area of Bologna, you can copy the email address as well on board. You guys can see it there. Then we still have another one again, Bolzano. Those ones who live in the area of Bolzano, you can still also find it in Corso Libertà 25. You understand? The number to call is there. The email address is also there. You can pick up and then have appointments with them. That is just it for those ones who live in the area of Bolzano. Then let's check another one again. For those of you who live in the area of Cagliari, something like that, Cagliari, you understand? So you know your name of your city. Once you see it there, you should know what I'm talking about. Then you have the phone number there as well, and then you have the email address. You can message them or contact them. Then we also have those ones who are living in the area of Catania. You can find the number there on the screen. These guys are seen here. You can pause the video and then watch and get the number there. So that is just it for that. Then those ones who also live in Florence, we have it at Via della Scala number 79. The number is there. We have the email address. You can message them, then you get to them. And also those ones who are living in the area of Genova, you can also find the number there at the screen here. You can see everything here at the screen. You can message them and then have appointment with them. The last but not the least, we still have those ones who live in Lecce. Those of you who live in Lecce, you can still find the address there. The phone number is there. You can see the Trabunale email address. All this thing I'm saying, you can pause the video, any of your city where you lies, you pause the video and then take the information. That is why I place it on board. So another one again, we have again is Messina. Those ones who live in Messina, you can see it there, and then you can see the email address. And for those ones who also live in the city of Milan, you can still see the email address and you can see the number which you can call. Everything is there on board. For people who are living in Napoli, that is the Nipo people, the Napes, you guys can still also see it there. The number you can call, the email address of the Tribunal. And then the other one again, those ones who live in Palermo, you can see it there at the screen. The number you can call, you can also get it as well. Then for those ones who live in the area of Perugia, you can still see the number on the screen. You can pause the video like I stated and then get it for yourself. Then another one again, for those ones who live in the area of Reggio di Calabria, you can see it there on the screen. You can pause it and get the information. Then for those ones who live in the area of Roma, you can see it there on the screen. You can pause the video and get the details yourself. And for those ones who live in the area of Salerno, you can also see it on the screen. For people who are living in the area of Sassari, you can also see it at the screen. And then those ones who live in Taranto, you can also see it at the screen. And then for those people who live in the area of Torino, you can also see it there at the screen. So guys, there are many of them. If we have to mention the whole of Italy, they are all located here. If you guys want, I can make that video to be a separate video in a well conducted manner so that you guys can understand. But in tanto, if your region fall in the ones I mentioned here, all you have to do is to pause the video, you take the information, take the email address, take the phone number, and take appointments with these people, and then try and book on for your assistenza minori. This is what you guys have to understand about this kind of permit. If today is your first time of coming across, make sure you subscribe to this platform, hit the like button, that shows how you react on video, keep your comments, anything you don't understand. Till next time again, we'll be together. Ciao.